tend to prefer binging anime rather than watching them seasonally. Something about just sitting down and getting immersed in a storyline, not saying, oh, I'm so hyped for the next episode. Well, hope I remember it next week. Instead, I get to say, damn, that episode was amazing. Needless to say, I get heavily invested after multiple hours in a story arc. Is it Stockholm Syndrome, sunken cost fallacy? I'd say an unhealthy cocktail of both. But when I'm in that binging state of mind, I always try to talk about the show and recommend it to people, which is hard. I have friends and family who watch anime, but the majority I would classify as,
yeah, I've watched anime. When Choosi straps me suit's hair, holds my eyelids open Clockwork Orange style, and
what makes it even harder is I can have the anime fully queued up, ready to show someone, and before I even hit play, they ask,
so what's the name of this anime?
I mean, I get it. Most anime don't have a simple elevator pitch like football players with chainsaw guns, and I understand not wanting to start a show you're just not interested in, especially when you're told, just wait until episode 3, bro, that's when it gets good. My only issue is, anime names can be... My model can't do the finger things, but pretend I'm doing it. Anime titles can be a bit of a topic, and can be a bit confusing if you're new to anime. You've got your fairly normal titles like Tokyo Ghoul, Demon Slayer, Fruits Basket, Psycho Pass, all just standard names, right? They sound like they could be movie titles, and most give you a good idea about what you're getting into. You've got a ghoul in Tokyo, a slayer of demons, a basket of fruits, and a psycho that passes. Now, all the animes I listed are popular, fairly well-rated animes. Most likely, even non-anime watchers have heard of these. I'm not saying you need a standard title to be well-received, but when you have a good concept and a simple title, you're golden. One Piece, Blue Lock, Death Note, all simple, easy to talk about, and these are the ones I found easiest to show people, unless it's school days. That one would fall into this category, and yeah. Not planning on showing that to anyone anytime soon. And then there's some of the shitty ones. So I'm a Spider, so what? The Fruit of Evolution, before I knew it, my life had it made, and you thought there was never a girl online. They just don't sound good. It's just simple as that. I found in the past, if I say these fast enough, people might not pick it up. The issue is, after the third or fourth time of hearing it, they definitely sound a bit off. So I'm a Spider, so what? So I'm a Spider, so what? So I'm a Spider, so what? Generally, I'm not a huge fan of these shows. They just tend to be lackluster and generic, just like their name. Do I still watch them? Yes. Do I enjoy my time watching them? Debatable. But hey, it's better than watching some normie shit like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because who the fuck would watch that, right? Next, we've got Name on the Tin.
This ultimate next-gen full dive RPG is even shittier than real in my 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's banished from the Heroes Party. I decided to kid from the last dungeon boonies genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation. High school prodigies, herbivores, dragon of 500 in another world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level.
Okay, I'll fully admit, half of these are trashy fantasy isekai animes that I absolutely love. At the same time, those names are just so gross. None of these need further explanation, and sometimes that's an issue. There's no mystery, there's no interesting naming scheme. If you are watching this, it is because you want to watch an anime with this specific plot. And I will judge you if I see Do You Love Your Mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks in your recently watched. There's a reason it hasn't been dubbed. I honestly hate this naming scheme. There's a lot of anime that are spoiled by this. For example, the hero is overpowered but overly cautious falls into this category. I honestly love this anime, but I'm just imagining how much better of an experience it would be if it had just been called Overpowered Hero or a hero in a level S-class world. Something simple like that. You went into it thinking it would be just another run-of-the-mill shitty isekai, then BAM! He's overly cautious and the whole formula is thrown on its head. I understand this long-form style of subtitles stems from the original light novels these shows are based on. I just feel it's unnecessary for anime adaptations. It always gets shortened in conversation anyway, so why not shorten them yourself? I'd just say Kid from the Last Dungeon, Isekai Prodigies, or well, I guess Reincarnated Demon Lord doesn't work. There's like 5 of them bitches. The last category is the one I dread talking to people about, the smut-sounding ones. Rent a Girlfriend, My Stepmother's Daughter is My Ex, Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. These are the ones I dread talking about. Now, obviously, I'm not going around saying, hey, have you seen this anime about a guy who can see a bunny girl? Trust me, the plot is so much better than it sounds. I've tried it once, and they won't speak to me anymore. The point of titles is to give some sense of preview and intrigue to the viewer. I'd be very surprised if a friend showed me a movie called Trainspotting and it wasn't about watching trains go by. Or if Reservoir Dogs wasn't about a bunch of puppies living out their lives on a small plot of land. Wait, what? Anime titles live on polarizing ends of the spectrum. Either you know exactly what you're getting into, or you're blindsided by something you're not expecting. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord? Sounds like it's gonna be a fantasy anime with super high level combat. And then the protagonist turns out to be a nerd who can't go 5 seconds without touching a slave girl's boobs. Aesthetica of a rogue hero. He must follow some figure that plays by his own rules and lives right on the edge of hero or villain. And he's a panty thief. I'll admit that neither of these animes didn't have what I was expecting. It's just that by the title alone, if I wasn't used to this type of fan service being normalized, it may have turned me off from watching. I've started a little project of introducing my mom to anime, and it's gone pretty well so far, when I find free time to drive over and watch it with her. But imagine if I didn't plan our next show correctly. We used to get takeout and watch cooking shows together all the time. Why not Food Wars next?
A thick and juicy cut of meat.
Eat my big tasty Kalebiak!
Part of the reason I made this video is not too long ago I caught up with Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? I've put it off for so long just because the title changed my initial perspective of what to expect. But my daily life is boring a hole in my soul that shitty fantasy anime fits perfectly in. So I finally picked it up, and it's not as terrible as I thought it would be. It has a unique take on a genre I'm familiar with, some tropey comedy moments I've come to expect, and honestly, it's not that ecchi compared to some of the other anime I've watched. But for so long, I lumped it in the same category as Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World. Now this is just straight up hentai. When you promise to release a super harem version, you're just making a softcore hentai. I'm not saying fan service is bad. I'm not saying ecchi anime is disgusting. I've actually accidentally recommended shows to people because it doesn't even faze me and I forgot how lewd it actually was. What I'm saying is, until they add an anime section on Common Sense Media, it's really hard to know exactly what to expect from a show. Maybe the first season is entirely clean with nothing you wouldn't show your anime-accepting mother, but as ratings drop, they decide to add a bit more fan service into the second. There's certain scenes that I was definitely not prepared for the first time I saw them. Maybe a studio picked a bad English translation, and now you look at it with a certain connotation without even watching it. Apparently, Pickup Girls is better translated to Encounter Girls, as a pun off Monster Encounters. If they had gone with that name, I probably would have watched it so much sooner. So next time, when your friend says they want to show you an anime, and it's already queued up, if you ask what the title is, don't immediately be turned off by the response being from who's with in